Call the meeting to order. It's 6:30 on July 15th, 2025. And we're here today to discuss meeting tonight to consider additional testimony submitted during the open record period for file number SDR 24-1, Kamwa Chung. On June 25th, the commission voted to close the public hearing, but left the record open for additional written testimony at the request of a commenter. Since the hearing was closed on June 25, no oral or written testimony will be accepted tonight. The commission's role this evening is to deliberate and issue a recommendation to the city council. Discussion among staff is permitted, as is a staff presentation summarizing the additional testimony received during the open record period. All such testimony has been included in tonight's meeting packet. With that, will staff please brief the planning commission?
Sharon, if you can go back, can we, you don't have to do the Pledge of Allegiance if you don't want, but we should probably say who's here tonight on the record.
Okay. Now let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sorry.
The Pledge
of Allegiance
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
We
We ready?
we have a quorum of commissioners, Commissioner,
Say our names.
yes.
Linda Pfeiffer.
Tim Underweiner.
Neil Ledgerwood.
Ed Newby.
And staff is Melissa Bethel and Henry Hurley. We have our engineer, Trish Rice, and then there are several representatives from OPRD here as well. There is nobody, for those online, there's nobody in the audience. So.
Okay, so will the staff please brief the planning commission on additional testimony received?
Okay, well, good evening. Like Melissa said, my name is Henry Hurley, planner for the city of John Day. So as the chair was saying, on June 25th, the planning commission did pass a motion to close the hearing, but keep the record open at the request of a individual that submitted evidence into the record opposing the project, essentially. So during that time, we received a submittal from Mr. Sean Robertson. That came to me via email on July 1st. It contained 4 items. The first one was a letter addressed to the planning commission. In that letter, he outlines his grievances, and he asks that the planning commission please deny the application. There are 3 exhibits included in his submittal. The first one is dated June 3rd, 2024. And this looks like a letter addressed to city manager Melissa Bethel, requesting a review of the actions of the former city administrator and city council in relation to the contracting process that was used to demolish Gleason Pool. Exhibit 2, also dated June 3rd, 2024, was a letter addressed to Mr. Chris Havel, seeking information from Oregon Parks and Recreation Department regarding the demolition of Gleason Pool. And Exhibit 3 was a copy of the OPRD master plan minor variation process. And this form included 3 signatures from OPRD staff, including final approval by agency director Sumpton, dated January 26, 2025. Also, in the submittals, Mr. Robinson noted the applications were not properly signed by all property owners, nor did Cole Architects have authority to act on the applicant's behalf. That has since been rectified. The applications are now signed by Oregon Parks Department, and we have an authorization from the state authorizing Cole Architects to act on their behalf. And then staff also put a little blurb in there regarding the pool. And this is just kind of a background on Gleason Pool. I'm sure you are all more familiar with it than I am. I guess the important thing to note, there's no record of the pool or the property that the pool is on ever being publicly marketed for sale. And the proposed transaction was between government entities, and the pool is never offered for private sale. So the other submittal is the applicant's final written rebuttal, and that was sent to me on July 8th, 2025. Like I said, contained in their submittal were the applications properly signed and authorization for Cole Architects to act on their behalf. Probably the main crux of Mr. Robinson's argument was a change of the location of the Kam Wah Chung site, the visitor center, or as he calls it a visitor center, but it's actually referred to as an interpretive center, which are different things. He contends that requires an amendment to the master plan. While Oregon Parks, they disagree because the entire site that the project was slated for still lies within that same area identified in the master plan. Therefore, they processed a minor amendment to change the location. And proof of that minor amendment is in the record. Like I said, it was approved by the agency director back in January. And then, so in summary, all of those items, it does not change my recommendation that the Planning Commission recommend that the City Council approve the application based on the conditions of approval that are still remain in the staff report. And I'd also like to note, I summarized through my interpretation the comments that were received by Mr. Robertson and the applicant, and they're included in their entirety in the staff report as exhibits J and K. Heidi, why do you have your hand up? What can I clarify?
It's just a clarification. I keep hearing Robinson instead of Robertson as the person who submitted testimony. So I
Okay.
just want to make sure that the record, since we're not using first names, is clear that James Robinson, who is with OPRD, is not the one who has submitted the testimony or opposition to this application, so that we make sure when this is typed up, we have the correct names associated with each
Yes, thank you.
side of
And I apologize if I got
the
that
table.
wrong.
Thank you.
So yes,
Robertson.
Mr. Robertson is the one that submitted comments, and of course, Mr. James Robinson acts on behalf of the applicant. So as I said, it does not change the recommendation that was made on June 25th. I guess I'll turn it back over to the chair now, and you can continue your deliberations and come to a recommendation.
So we don't have to ask for public testimony or anything like that.
No, we closed the record.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'll open it up to comments from you folks first, the other planning commission members, if you have any comments.
In view of what was said about, and I don't exactly recall every word, but regarding the pool, how there was not a record made as far as selling that or something.
Yeah, so in the government, you can give land or you can sell to agency, without opening it up to public. So, I want to say, well, we did it with Raleigh. I'm trying to think. You don't have to go through the same process. Is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows. You don't have to open it up. You can, if you're gonna sell to an agency or a state government, you can, because you can give things back and forth also.
And yeah, and you don't.
Yeah,
If let's say, Department of Transportation wants to, or has a gravel pit or something that they haven't used for years and years, they can ask if there are any other state agencies that want that piece of property. Let's say for, river access or boating access or whatever, then, that agency could decide that, yeah, we want it. And there would be no money exchanging hands, or there could be no money exchanging hands, or the person who or the agency who wants it could pay
Yeah.
for it, but, so they get first right of refusal, other state agencies do.
Okay, the
Or
reason,
government entities do.
Okay. The reason I brought that up is because I was doing my own research on there and I actually found a article page from, and my wife said, aren't you gonna take that in? I said, no, I don't think I need to take it in. But it has a list of, the projects that we're starting in John Day. One project after project after project. This was when Mr. Green was still the city manager. And none of them really were done, you know. I don't need to open up that can of worms, but specifically, there's a note, last item in this article about how the sale of Gleason Pool has already been negotiated.
Yeah.
That makes me think a little.
Yeah, well,
I think that's beyond the purview
Yeah.
of what we're talking about, though. I mean, it's,
I agree. The sale's already done.
Yeah.
They have the property. So what you're deciding tonight is the interpretive center site plan review.
Yeah, cause we're past that.
We're past that, yeah.
so it's where they wanna put the interpretive center for, so.
Mhm. Well, you're approving the design and you're recommending to council regarding an easement. There's an old water easement, water line that's never been used. And there's also a, fire easement that goes around an area it was supposed to be around buildings.
It's a building setback so construction doesn't occur in that sensitive area.
Yeah,
But of course,
Which is-
to remodel, you're going to have to remove that.
yeah.
and
So,
then there's a series of conditions that have been placed on the approval as well. It's like 5 or 6 different conditions,
yes,
correct? Is that correct?
yes.
Okay.
And Henry could probably go run those down if you need them.
So there's 7. The first one is more informational. It does lie in the floodplain. The applicant is working towards that permit right now. The second one, as you probably heard and read in both staff reports, project number 8 has yet to kind of be worked out between the city and the applicant, but we are progressing towards a solution, and we hope to have that in place by the time we get to city council. And project 8 is a multi-use path that goes through the property.
Yeah, here you go. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Number 3 is fairly standard to record easements and submit the copies to City Hall for record keeping. Same with number 4. Prior to construction, the city engineer will review and approve the plans. 5, if there are any public improvements that the city will take over, first those must be inspected and accepted formally by the city. That's 5 and 6. And then 7 kind of is sort of like number 2, but they're already proposing to construct sidewalk along the frontage there. The question is whether that they're going to dedicate that 5 feet to the city, or they're just going to build it and keep it in a private easement. And that's the lesser of the 2 issues between project 8 and the sidewalk. The sidewalk, the main point there is the sidewalk's getting built.
And that's to bring it up to code, right?
Yeah, that's part of our design.
Right. That road is 5 feet short of the right of way, so that 5 feet is the sidewalk.
Neil, you got anything to add?
No, I think I'm pretty well got it grasped.
I felt like, they have, I think that they have the Oregon Parks and Rec have done their work, I think. So our job is to decide, have they done what needed to be done? Does it fit in the city, where we wanting to go in our city in that area? And I feel like it's done. It's been well done and well planned, so I am sorry that the pool was the sacrifice, but that was a long time ago, so.
And I will put it on the record that I was not here at the last meeting, but I have read through the packet. And I've reviewed the objections to the approval. And I'm aware of the issues raised by Mr. Robertson. But I agree, I think OPRD has done their due diligence. They've done what they've been asked to do. And I think we should make a recommendation to the city council.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move, we make the recommendation to the city council.
I'll
On,
second.
With the conditions. Right.
What's the condition?
With the conditions, okay.
And then I'll second.
So, Commissioner Ledgerwood moved, Commissioner Newby second to recommend approval to the city council with the conditions as outlined in the staff report.
Okay, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed.
Unanimously.
Okay, excellent.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for your time this evening. The city council will hear this matter on August 12th.
And I also want to let everybody know here that tonight's my last meeting. And I've been doing this for almost 30 years, since 1996. And it's just getting to the point where I've had difficulty getting my schedule and this meeting scheduled. And there's been several times where there's been a conflict and I have not been able to come. So I will pass the torch on to somebody else.
You don't want to strike out for the 50th?
We do appreciate your.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
I was surprised. I was visiting with a friend of mine who was on this planning commission before I was, and he moved out of the city, and so they were looking for somebody else to take his place, and so I foolishly volunteered at that time, and I've been on there ever since. So, but it's been I wouldn't say a labor of love, but I've enjoyed 99% of it. And I think it's a very necessary part of being in the community is to volunteer and do what you can.
Participate.
Yeah. So,
I agree.
and I think it's time for somebody else.
Well, we need two others, so if you guys know people out in the community, that'd be great. But we're gonna miss you, because I think you bring a lot of knowledge and expertise, so.
Is there anything else we had tonight?
No,
This was it, huh?
that's it.
I thought we had a daycare center or something.
That is on your August meeting. Correct me if I'm wrong.
When is that August?
I can tell you 1 second.
Because we had to publish and notice.
Yeah, that conditional use permit is going to be the same night as the base development, so that's August 13th.
I will not be here.
You will not be.
Okay. We will take roll call ahead of time, and Melissa and I will plan accordingly.
We really need to get some people on. You sure you want this to be on?
I've got something going on the 13th also, so
Busy guy. All right, I'll figure it out.
that's what kind of prompted me to take a look at things in the future.
Adjourned.
I guess we're gonna adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Tim.
Good night.
Night.
All right, thanks, Henry.
Of course.